Let's have a quick conversation about how to start a pack and ship business from home with little cash. So this is a tutorial for starting a shipping company. Don't go anywhere, you're going to love today's conversation, I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you are to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about how to start a pack and ship business from home with little cash. And here is a step-by-step guide on starting a shipping company. The first thing you need to do is to understand the basics, okay? So we really need to understand that when we talk about a pack and ship store, you need to understand this is something very little. It's not a big shipping company. You got to start somewhere, okay? And so if you think a pack and ship operation is suitable for you, it's time to plan. You need to carve out your niche. You need to find your location. You need to create a document that will help you get the best personnel, secure bank loans, and get other financial partners. The thing is, the money is there. The money is there, okay? But you need to have the best business plan. And the business plan is the right place to start. This is very important. So you want to pay attention to the executive summary, the business description and structure, the products and locations. Those are really critical. How about the market research? Talk to me about that. Have you done market research? If you're interested in starting a pack and ship business from home, you really need to do market research. You need to have the right people around you, okay? You need to have solid financials. Again, we're not talking about actual revenue. We're talking about projected revenue, okay? It's important. So once you have that done, you need to start your operations. So creating your pack and ship store business plan is just the first step. From there, you need to run operations and satisfy customers. And you also need to have a positive impact in the community that you are operating in. So it's important. So that's if you want to do things from scratch. Or guess what? You can buy a pack and ship business from a franchise, as a franchisee. In other words, you buy a pack and ship franchise business. You have that also. You have a lot of them. We actually have another show that it will cover that. But the cool thing is that if you buy a pack and ship franchise business, you have low startup cost. You have an interest in logistics and shipping right off the bat. In other words, you get all the package from the franchisor, right? And you are able to actually grow your business with additional services. Okay, you can actually network with the local businesses. And if you love customers, if you love the interaction with customers, this is kind of cool. But the bottom line is, please understand the industry you are going to put yourself into. It's important. You need to understand the order fulfillment process. You need to understand how much money you are going to spend to start a small logistics company. Again, everything can be financed, but you need to have the right plan. Step number two. Step number one, you need to understand the basics. Step number two, you need to understand the markets. Okay, so you need to conduct market research and feasibility studies. I'm not asking you to spend thousands of dollars. No, you can do a lot of things yourself. I mean, you have Google, you have some industry reports. You might have to hire someone on Fiverr, Upwork, or freelancer.com. That is a freelancer, yeah, to do research for you, and this will cost you $50 to $100. Okay, but be very specific. We're asking here, you want to be very specific, and you want the freelancer, the consultant, to talk to you about demographics and psychographics. So, for example, are you looking for who are your clients? Okay, your job is to start a pack and ship business from home with little money. Okay, so who are your clients? Are you doing B2C, business to consumers? Are you doing B2B, business to businesses? Are you doing B2G, business to governments? It's important to have a clear idea of who your demographics are and your psychographics, okay? And you also need to decide which niche you want to concentrate on. It's really important. So there are a lot of niches in the shipping industry, in the e-commerce industry, where you can actually make money. You can do drop shipping, cargo shipping, container shipping, home delivery shipping, and so on and so forth, okay? And you also need to pay attention to the level of competition in the industry. Are you in an industry that is very competitive at the local level? Again, we are speaking about a small pack and ship business, so you got to think locally here. You got to think maybe in your city or in your states first to start with, and as your business scales, you can think about maybe national competition or global competition for that matter. Okay, so you want to know you want to know the major competitors that are in your industry, the major players. This is important, and you also want to do some economic analysis. So starting a pack and ship business from home is indeed very tiring. It can be exhaustive, but it is really a serious business that you have to plan, because if you don't plan, chances are your competitors are already planning. Okay, so you want to pay attention to your business plan. You want to pay attention to the niche that you want to focus on. This is important. How profitable is the niche? How many players are already in the niche? Those are questions I want you to have. Those are questions that I want you to really grapple with every single day. And also think about the personnel. If you want to start a thing by yourself, this is good. But how much time do you have on a daily basis? Because when you start this kind of business, you'll be spending a lot of time. You better be ready to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, every week, or even 70 hours every week, nonstop. But this is just the beginning. After that, it becomes very easy. Step number 3, folks. Legal. It's important. If you want to start a pack and ship business from home with little cash, you really need to pay attention to the legal aspects of things. Okay, you need to decide whether you want to buy a franchise or start from scratch. I said this before. If you are buying a franchise, everything comes as in a package and everything is pre-arranged for you. You don't have a lot of stuff to do. But if you want to start from scratch, which is the conversation we're having today, then you need to pay attention to basically the legal aspect of things. So what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about your EIN. There's something called EIN, Employer Identification Number, that you need to get from the IRS. You definitely want to set your business as a legit business. No sole proprietorship. No. Don't operate as an individual and hope that you will get a lot of benefits. You can start as a sole proprietorship, but you're not going to scale. You're not going to scale if you're not going to grow faster if you remain a sole proprietorship. You want to be an LLC, an LLP, as S corp, an S corp, or C corp, depending on the founders, depending on the legal structure that you want. Okay, and you need to know the possible threats and challenges that you will face in the industry. So you'll have threats from, threats. I mean, quote unquote threats. Okay, those are challenges. Those are threats and challenges from government policies, global economic downturn. You might have some natural disasters. Think about it. You are in the business of shipping. You are packing and shipping. So there are things, what people call acts, quote unquote, acts of God. Those things may happen, and they might actually derail your business, at least at the beginning. You need to understand that you need to choose the right legal entity. I said this before, LLC, C Corp, S Corp, because you really want to limit personal liability. You want to have ease of transferability. You want to be able to admit new owners, and it's important also to think about investors' expectation and tax issues. Okay, at the end of the day, those are really important, and don't forget to have a catchy business name. This is part of your branding. This is part of your marketing. I'll speak about that later on, so be very clear about that. And last but not the least, after you choose your LLC or S Corp or C Corp, you need to register the business at the state level. Okay, businesses are registered at the state level, so you're going to have to pay taxes, pay income taxes at the state level, but also at the federal level. You need to also register your business for payroll taxes, okay, withholding tax. This is important. So I'm just giving you a few things that will help your business be legit. Number 4, I want you to understand the risks that are related, the risks that are inherent to a pack and ship business in general. Okay, so you want to discuss with an agent to know the best insurance policies for you. This is important. When we talk about pack and ship businesses, you have to understand that shipping in general has some risks. Okay, so you want to talk to your agent to have a clear idea about what type of insurance you need, whether it is general insurance, health insurance, risk insurance, payment protection insurance, liability insurance, workers' compensation, overhead expense disability insurance, business owners policy, group insurance. This is not an exhaustive list of insurance policies, but it kind of gives you an idea of what you need to have if you are planning your shipping business, okay? And also think about protecting your intellectual property with trademark, copyrights, patents, and so on and so forth. This is, if you really need it, it's totally up to you, okay? And also get the necessary professional certifications. Again, it depends on the industry you're in. It depends on the clients you are going after. It depends on the competition in your industry. So if for example, you want to have certifications such as Certified International Trade Professional, Certified International Trade Shipping and Logistics Professional, certificate in marine transportation, certification of logistics professionals, certificate in shipping business. So this is not again a complete list of certificates, but anything that can add credibility, anything that can lend credibility to your business, to your pack and ship business, do it. Okay, please get the necessary legal documents you need to operate. Okay, so I've talked to you earlier about incorporating, but you also need to have your certificate of incorporation, your articles of organization or incorporation, depending on the legal structure that you have chosen. Think about whether or not you need a shipping clearance certificate, a business license, a business plan, okay, employment agreement. So you need to have offer letters for your employees, operating agreement, company bylaws, insurance policies. So those are things that are important that will lend credibility to your business. So think about the risks, okay? So number one, understand the basics. Then you want to understand the market you are getting yourself into. Number three, you want to make your pack and ship business legal. This is very important. You want to make things legit. Number four, you want to understand the risks, okay? Number five, you want to plan. So when we talk about planning, we are talking about several things. Number one, we are talking about business plan. So if you want to start a pack and ship business from home with little cash, please give me a compelling business plan. Give me a solid business plan that is replete with financial data, with projections. Okay, don't give me something unreadable. Again, if you have no knack, no talent in writing business literature, hire someone to do it for you. Don't go on the internet and just pull a template that you can just customize. No. You want someone to write a template. You want to write a business plan for you, or you can purchase software. Nowadays you have software that you can just fill yourself. Okay, you have a live plan, you have envelope, you have biz plan. And this software tools allow you actually to write a business plan that is great with no prior experience. But a business plan is really important because this will lend credibility to your pack and ship business, okay? You also want to prepare a detailed cost analysis. So you need to have a clear idea of how much you're going to spend in the business, okay? So when we talk about little cash, it doesn't mean no cash. You need to invest something. You need to actually, this is a business. This is your business. And this company might actually be a 7-digit or 8 digits company down the road. So it's important to actually invest in the business. So we're talking about, thinking about paying for launching a website, for example. You might think about insurance, permits, and licenses. Okay, you might think about how to incorporate your business. The cost for acquiring shipping equipment. Now, a lot of those costs can be you can get loans for that, business loans. You can do business financing, equipment financing. But for the little cost, you cannot get a loan for that. You need to charge this on a credit card or on a debit card yourself. So this is kind of important. You also want to think about raising the needed startup capital. So we're talking here about operations. You need to have, we're talking about planning rather. You need to apply for a loan from your bank, okay? But look for something called equipment financing. This is how you actually finance the car, you finance the machinery used in the business. A lot of the big purchases, a lot of the big item purchases, those can be financed through equipment financing, okay? But The bottom line is you spend more time doing the upfront work in terms of planning, and the funding part is a lot easier. And you think about pitching your business idea and applying for business grants and seed, and actually looking for seed funding from donor organizations and angel investors. This is also possible. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. In today's conversation, we are talking about how to start a pack and ship business from home. And now I want you to pay attention to operations. Okay, so when we talk about operations, I'm speaking about the how your business will run on a daily basis, the actual nitty-gritty that you have to go through, right? So it's really important. So you want to choose a suitable location for your business. Okay, so you want to pay attention to the demographics of the location, the accessibility, the numbers of shipping companies in the location, right? What about local laws and regulations in the community or state, and things like traffic, parking? All these things are important in terms of making sure that your business is successful from the get-go. When we talk about shipping, when we talk about pack and ship businesses, we're talking about accessibility. We're talking about the ability to drive, the ability to get to from point A to point B faster, right? And you also need to think about hiring employees for your technical and manpower needs. And again, we're not talking about 10 employees to start with. If you start a pack and ship business from home, chances are you'll be the only person at the beginning. But as your business scales, you need to think about adding more staff. And please don't forget to do things the legit way. You want to report new employees to the state so that you can pay all the payroll taxes. You want to also make sure that you get the proper insurance, so if something happens, your employees and yourself and your business are covered. Okay, and it's important to understand that when we talk about shipping businesses, we're talking about logistics in general. There are a lot of risks that are inherent to the business, so you want to cover your employees. Very important. And also you want to actually think about branding. You want to think about marketing. You want to think about writing a marketing plan packed with ideas and strategies. This is important. You want to advertise your business in relevant business magazines, TV and radio stations. You can do this offline or online. Okay, for example, if you go with online, you have Google and Facebook. Those are cheap ways to start advertising your business, your pack and ship business. You can do this on a CPC on a cost per click basis. Okay, and you can start like this. You can leverage events in your community to advertise your business. So the whole idea is to start really marketing your business. You can engage in direct marketing, referral marketing, and also email marketing. Okay, so it's important to think about how to grow sales, and I will talk about that in the next section. So finally here, what you need to understand, and number 7 here, please think about growing sales. It's important. So when we talk about your pack and ship business from home, simply because you don't have money, you don't have a lot of cash, doesn't mean you don't have to think about developing sales. You can start little, okay? You can start with 5 clients, you can start with 10 clients. It's all about consistency. It's all about being there and having a plan, having a strategy, and implementing the strategy, okay? Make sure that you have ironclad competitive strategies to help you win, not only in the short term, but also in the long run. So when we talk about bidding for contracts, for example, okay? So if you're in the shipping industry, if you want to make it big, you need to bid for contracts. For example, for government contracts, there are some contracts that are actually reserved for small businesses, okay? And this could be an opportunity for you to shine at the local level, at the state level, or at the federal level. And you want to brainstorm possible ways to retain clients and customers, and even expand the amount of business you do per client. So if you are making, let's say, $1,000 in revenue for one client, think about how to double that revenue, how to triple that revenue, how to quadruple that revenue. There are things you can do to actually increase the amount of revenue you actually derive per client. And this is important. You want to develop strategies to boost brand awareness and create a corporate identity. So this is something that is important. At the end of the day, you want to have a brand. You want to introduce your business by sending introductory letters alongside your brochure to all the corporate organizations, community leaders, schools, hospitals, hotels, and government offices in your target area. Again, when we speak about a pack and ship business, we are speaking about something local. Okay, you want to advertise your business in relevant magazines and websites, list your business on local directories, yellow pages, promote your business on satellite TV stations and radio stations, whatever works in your area. Please do that. Okay, also ensure that your workers wear your branded shirts at all times during work hours, and also make sure your brand is actually visible. Okay, and if you have your first van or your first truck or whatever, make sure that you have your company's official brand on the vans. So at the end of the day, you also want to create a suppliers network. What I'm trying to say here is that you want to join other professional organizations, not compete with them, but you want to know what's going on in the industry. You need to have a clear idea of what's going on in the industry so you can participate in suppliers events, in major industry events, to sort of have to kind of have that feedback about where the industry is heading. So those are really, really important. So the bottom line, folks, the bottom line here is that, if you want to start your own shipping company, if you want to start a pack and ship business from home, you need to have a business plan. The required licenses and permits, the startup capital, but the startup capital can be something as little as $1,000, okay, for licenses, for incorporation. But what the big money, the big purchases, you can finance that. I'm talking about delivery vans, trucks, bikes, drones, ships, or even cargo planes. Those things can be financed, okay? And you may have to think about shipping and logistics software, and that's all you need now. Once you start growing, you got to think about operational facility and warehouses. This is important, okay? And the thing here is that please do a market research, understand what's going on, apply for an EIN, an employer identification number, so you really have a clear idea of what's going on in the industry. You please open a corporate bank account, no personal account. Okay, we are really shying away from the sole proprietorship type of legal structure. We want a legit business. And the cool thing here is that for the vans, trucks, bikes, and drones, and whatever, you can even lease them. You don't have to buy them. And there are companies, again, that actually lease. They are in that business, and what they do is they just lease this kind of equipment. And one thing you also need to understand is that if you want to start a small business shipping company, don't forget that you will need to have a business plan. You will need to have required licenses and permits. This is important, okay? And overall, is shipping a good business? You bet it is. Shipping is a great business, especially when we talk about e-commerce lately, when we talk about things like last mile. You have the bigger players such as UPS, USPS, and FedEx not able to right now. They're not able to create the logistical processes and context that will actually take advantage of last mile opportunities. So if you have a small pack and ship business and you are at the right time at the right place, you might benefit from that. Okay, so those are things you need to really think about. And one thing I also want to say here is that there are important orders in the fulfillment process. So you receive inventory shipments, you have to store the inventory, you have to process the orders, you have to process the returns, and you have to ship. So those are areas where you can actually specialize in, or you can specialize in one area or all of them. At the end of the day, if you want to survive in this industry, you got to be versatile and you got to be flexible. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate your attention today. And I was actually talking to you today about how to start a pack and ship business from home with little cash. This was a tutorial for starting a shipping company, a small shipping company. Number one, understand the basics. Number two, you really want to understand, you want to do some market research. Number three, understand the legality of things. Number four, understand the risks. Number five, you want to plan things in advance. We are speaking about business plan, detailed cost analysis. Number six, you want to plan operations properly. Number seven, you want to have a strategy about sales. And I give you a bottom line about the whole thing. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.